All right, let's get it straight into it. Depression is not a law you had to adhere to. It's a belief. It is simply a belief. I can have proof of this because of what I went through. 2019, right? Worst year of my life. Best year of my life. If you know, you know. And we're going to get into it now. So, in 2019, I was going through an overwhelming amount of hell mentally, right? And that was just due to me having so much trauma and just bullshit built up. Things that I wasn't dealing with, things I didn't know how to deal with, that eventually that wave started catching up and it was sweeping me off my feet and took me back into the ocean where I didn't know how to really swim and beat the current. And in that process, I was so solidified and so sold on the idea of this being a real thing. When you're going through it, you feel like nobody else on the planet is going through what you're going through, including the people that say they understand where you're coming from, right? I was so sold on that shit that it felt like the world was going to end. There's no way in hell that this planet is sustainable with the way I'm feeling. Ain't no way. That's how I really felt, right? In the process of all that, I remember I was working at the place I'm working now. I left due to mental health issues and being suicidal and actually willing to commit it. Like, I wrote the notes out. I was saying my goodbyes subliminally. I didn't really want to alert nobody because, again, I felt so strongly about the belief. And it was time to go for me. It was time to go. I didn't have, I didn't really have a thought of I could succeed past how I'm feeling. It was just, I'm feeling this fucked up. This is over with. That level of despair, losing my aunt, Nipsey Hussle being such a big influence at that time, and he even triggered my spiritual awakening. So he played a huge, significant role in who I am and where I am now, right? Lost them both in the same week. Alongside all the traumas from my childhood, all the traumas I've ever been through, all the way from my youth to my teenagehood, somewhere in my adulthood, like all those things, these impressions, these shocks that you want to defend yourself against, but you're not really dealing with those issues. I was going through all that at the same time. Now, again, I just told you, I felt like the world was crumbling around me. Didn't matter what nobody said. But I noticed when I got sent home that day due to mental health reasons and whatever you want to attach to it, anything despair associated, that's where I was going through. These kids were having the time of their life. These are my next door neighbors we're talking about. I'm talking about they're running, they're laughing, they're screaming, their father's playing with them. And I couldn't for the life of me see, like, and it sounds ridiculous, but I really thought, like, my mind was that enclosed with my own belief of there's, like, it's no hope. But they were having a time of their life, and I couldn't understand, like, how am I the only one feeling like this? How am I? And that's what depression is. It's a selfish, self-centered thing where you truly believe what your imagination has sold to you. You abide by all the emotions that trigger from that imagination or that level or pattern of thinking, and this becomes your new reality. So if these kids were having the time of their lives with all their friends, this, that, and the third, I'm sitting over here in despair. And, I worked my way out of it, and, obviously I'm here talking to you about it. Is depression an actual thing? Or is it just something I've convinced myself of? The latter is the answer. Depression is not law. It is a system of beliefs you chose to keep abiding by in these passing moments we call time. The end. Depression is being a know-it-all in the worst way possible. I don't care if you got there through an existential crisis. I've had 3 of them. Those lead to depression. Or an overwhelming amount of trauma. I've had that. Sexual abuse, neglect, seeing friends get killed in front of me, right? Being bullied when I was younger, heartbreak, that's trauma as well. That can lead to depression. These things that we call beliefs, you can build your reality around those thoughts, and with enough repetition and with enough convincing and hardening of those into an actual fact, not that they're an actual fact, but your thoughts are water, right? A belief makes it ice. It hardens it. That's what a belief is. What is a belief? A theory that you subscribe yourself to. That's all a belief is. It ain't nothing more than a theory that you subscribe to. First example of that, Santa Claus. Second example of that, WWE wrestling or any type of wrestling, right? When you don't know better, these things are absolutely real to you. You have no proof of them being otherwise, but because you lock it into your imagination as something that it goes a certain way. It's obvious wrestling's fake, right? But let's just stick on Santa Claus, right? Because you were told something, and because your imagination started getting so vivid, crazy, and out there, a feeling emerged from that imagination, from that visualization. You truly believed, whether you had a chimney or not, Santa Claus was going to march his big ass down that chimney and deliver you presents. Because you were told that. It's a programming. It's an engraving mentally in your own mind that this thing is the thing. And now, since you summoned a feeling from that imagination and kept doing it repeatedly, that became a fact until we eventually seen that's not a real thing. It's your mom, your dad, your grandma, whoever bought you a gift. Slid it under the tree, wrapped it up, end of story, right? So with that same process, you can create depression just as much. You summoned a feeling state. The closer you got to Christmas, the more excited you got. What gift am I going to get? What am I going to brag about my friends to based on what I got under this tree? It's a feeling state. There are many feeling states. Depression is one of them. Depression ain't nothing but sadness made into a state of being. What about wrath? What about anger? Right? You can call it vengeance. You can call it whatever. It's modern day term, crash out, whatever you would like to call it. I don't care for none of it. Point is, there are feeling states. The state of not feeling anything, the state of nothingness, the flow state, right? These are all states of feeling. These are all states of being. You can get there with thought patterns and emotions. That's how you got here to depression. It's just being a know-it-all in the worst way possible. Now, the way that you get there is through the power of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is programmed by three things. Three things, right? Those three things. These are the tools that will liberate you from the cesspool of hell that you're going through mentally. Because they liberated me. I was homeless at Walmart 5 years ago. Someone told me that was the end. You're a failure. Whatever people have been saying. They didn't tell me that directly. But I've been hearing it so much in my life that I believed it. I thought I was a failure. I thought this was the end. I didn't make it. I'll go see a high school friend. I was living out of Walmart at the time, right? I see a high school friend pop out and walk through Walmart, and I wouldn't want to tell him how I'm doing in life and all this crazy shit. When I let go of that belief, when I was living out of Walmart, that to this day, it still might be the absolute most happiest I've ever been. I'm talking about bliss. Because I let go of the belief that I was a failure. I let go of the belief that I was lesser than. We are all going to die. We know that. So there is no hierarchy on who's doing better than who. It doesn't exist. It's simply a desire. Do you have what it takes to get what you want? Right? Now, let's get back to it. The subconscious mind is programmed with three things: trauma, symbols, repetition. Trauma, symbols, repetition. Trauma. I mean, we all know what it is. To summarize it, these little shocks that you experience in this human body leaves an impression, an impression on the subconscious mind. Pardon me, I gotta take some water. Little dry in the throat. We ain't gonna edit that out. We're gonna keep going, right? Trauma, sexual abuse, seeing people get killed, neglect, heartbreak. These are all shocks of uncomfortable circumstance, for lack of a better way of putting it, that cause you to naturally want to defend yourself. It causes you to not want to be vulnerable or feel weak, or it causes you to feel even weaker, right? You can be someone that defends themselves, someone that believes in all the trauma that they've went through and doesn't see it as a breakthrough, but just sees it as, this is what it is. I went through this, so I have to feel like this. That's trauma. You try to protect yourself. You try to be too offensive, too aggressive, right? All for the sake of not being vulnerable no more. That impresses the subconscious mind, and that causes you to have a new operational system. When we were kids, we didn't have an absolute ounce of what this concept was called depression. We didn't have it. We came in as blank slates, and we got stained with whatever life hit us with, right? Through circumstance, through our own parents, through whatever. But that's trauma. Symbols: McDonald's, Burger King, Target, Walmart, the alphabet, numbers, all symbols. You see them so much naturally. If we were to take that red box with the font that says McDonald's in it, if we were to take that off and just leave the golden arch, we would still be able to identify McDonald's. We've seen it so much naturally. You know what that place is. You know what it smells like when you walk in there. You know what the fries taste like. You remember the Big Mac. You can't even summon those sensations we call senses. Smell, taste. You can't even summon them physically. But because you know how they taste and smell, and that place has been that place so long, you naturally can call back to it and know the experience you're getting into before you approach that place again. Or if you ever approach that place again. That is trapped in your memory. That goes in the subconscious mind. That becomes your new operational system, right? You don't go into McDonald's and expect them to have anything that tastes like Olive Garden. You know what you're going into, memory-wise, going into that place called McDonald's. Numbers, symbols, you identified them so much. You know how they sound in your head. You know where they go to be able to spell the correct word that you're looking for. Those are symbols, right? They impress the subconscious mind because we identify something with them. Feelings, senses, logic. That's number 2. Number 3, repetition. That explains itself. Repeatedly, doing something over and over and over and over and over again. Tying your shoes. One day you didn't know how to tie your shoes. You figured out the process in tying them correctly. You did it so much. Now you naturally do not have to think about the steps it takes to tie your shoes. You can have a full-blown conversation on your phone or with someone that's talking to you while you've been over tying your shoes. And you're not going to have to think about how to get it done. It's such a natural process. It's such a natural process. That is the subconscious mind. Repeatedly doing something, repeatedly saying something, repeatedly imagining and summoning the feeling state of what this thing you want to identify with should bring you or could bring you, that becomes your new reality. Again, thoughts are water. Belief turns them into ice, right? I was suicidal before. I really believed that was a pathway I was going. Again, what is a belief? Nothing more than a theory you subscribe to. What is suicide? A committance to the belief of the theory you subscribe to. I felt like my life was worth taking. My life was worth ending. I believe that. Suicides would have just been the committance to that. It would have been the dedication to that. That's all that process would have been. That's all that would have been. It's not that depression is a real thing. It's no exact location called depression, and you get to it. It ain't nothing more than a check engine light that you need to go identify, run a diagnostic on, see what's wrong with it, fix the problem no longer bothers you. You, I, and everybody else on the globe, on this fucking planet, or whatever this place is, we don't even need to get into the spirituality of it. We have conditioned our minds. Maybe not us, parents, peers, whoever. Point is, we got here through repetition. Through repetition, through the significance of our trauma and the symbols that we've seen. You didn't know what depression was, other than enhanced sadness made into a state of being. That's it. You just know depression has something to do with sadness. When you come in as a baby to this planet, you have no concept of anything. These are just things you experience and live out, right? But societal programming, you have to learn how to be depressed. You get it from movies. You get it from your friends or your peers who may be going through something. You get it from social media, YouTube, Instagram, right? All these things have taught you the ways how to be depressed. When you identify this feeling with an action, so if there's a person on the movie screen that, I don't know, lost a loved one, wife, kid, whoever, and the first thing they do is mope, sit in the corner or lay in bed, not shower, not get up, not do anything about the problem they're feeling. You start to think, because you feel like this and you don't have the correct tool set for dealing with said emotion, this must be how it goes. That is depression, or not acting on depression, in a nutshell. This is what you've seen people do. This is what you follow suit in. And now that lack of not doing anything has become your automatic process system. You shut down when you feel this. No matter how intense, the thing is the same. If I know I need an oil change, let's just split it up into two paths. I feel absolutely nothing when I go get this oil change. This is just nothing. It's nothing but something to do on the to-do list. Ain't nothing but another task. Or you can be this person. I'm trying to get my hands in the camera shot. Someone who just separates their emotion from the task, and someone who feels everything about the task and thinks it's more significant than what it is, and you treat it as such. It's a problem. It's a stress. Oh, if it's not one thing, it's another. It's something to do. If you remove your emotion from the task, you are now an observer. You're an observer. That means outside looking in, this ain't nothing. It's just something I have to handle. It's a passing moment I have to get past to not have to worry about it for whatever extended period of time. Right? New levels, different devils. So you're never going to have to stop dealing with something. You're always going to deal with something. Get that through your head. But it's not as significant as you make it seem. It's only as big as a problem as you make it. Yes, death hurts. But if you understood death, you would be giving a round of applause instead of feeling fucked up. I don't care how tragic the death is. I don't care. Because I've died. When I was 16, I was smoking weed, with a group of friends and they laced my fucking blunt. I had a seizure. They recorded it, so I didn't even know that I blacked out. But they recorded it, right? Took that video and then showed me afterwards. But what I went through in that process of me dying, me jumping out of this body, total liberation. So the thing that we feel fucked up about on earth, that is an actual graduation, that's what we're tripping about. We don't even understand that that's the greatest version that you could ever be, being wise. But we're so caught up in this limited box called human thinking and logic, you think it's worse than what it is. It's not a curse, it is a gift. But I say that to say this, right? These things that we feel are absolutely nothing. You're living in the moment. Now you have to process, yeah. Of course, death feels bad because you no longer get to share this experience with someone that you love and have an affection for. But if you understood exactly what it is that you're upset about, and just observe these emotions as raw information that you have to study and look after, you're free. I gave you the game. I'm going to give you some exercises, but that's the game. Those are the tools. Trauma, symbols, repetition. All you have to do, besides what I'm going to show you, right? The repetition, the affirmation part of it, that's what makes it solidify. The visualization along with the repetition part of it, that's what transforms you. It's not that it's a real thing. It's just that you walk down this street so long, this is naturally what you don't even want to think about turning back because you think it's a longer path backwards. It's not. It's not. How you got here is how you get anywhere. It's polarity. It's a three-way path. This is how you control your emotions. Or this is how you should observe your emotions, right? Things are funneled in these three parts. I don't like how I feel. I don't like how I feel. I like how I feel. This is pleasurable to me. I don't know what I'm feeling. Once you're able to observe your emotion in those three parts, you're able to funnel your logic and see how to navigate what you want and don't want in your mental reality. Your mental reality creates your physical reality. You have to think what you want in order to get what you want. If I want fast food, if I think of, let's use McDonald's for example. A lot of people don't know Whataburger. I don't know who's watching this all over the world. Whataburger is a Texas exclusive thing, right? But let's use McDonald's, right? If I know what I want McDonald's, first of all, that has to be a part of me. My damn phone died. But don't know where I left off. Point is, let's just get into the ego. Ego just means self-esteem. You can literally look it up on Google. That is the textbook definition of what that means, right? Based on exactly what you may have went through and where you're trying to go, what you went through causes a bad self-esteem, right? The trauma that you may have went through, neglect, abuse, you name it, it can either cause you to be a narcissist. It can cause you to be someone who feels self-doubt all the time. So someone who lacks self-worth, causes you to self-sabotage. All of those are bad. I don't care how good you think you're doing in life, how much wealth or material you may have accumulated. If you're dealing with the ego as your personality, you're not a real person. You're not complete. And the reason for me saying that is simply because the operational system or the logic of the ego is this small. It's only dealing with your self-esteem. It's a selfish thing. It's a box inside of a box inside of a box inside of a box, right? You may feel like you're the absolute baddest motherfucker to ever walk the earth. One situation is all it takes to shatter that reality. You might be going to the club with your best outfit on, hair properly groomed, perfume or Cologne, whatever gender I might be referring to on the opposite side of this camera. Cologne, you got that, you got everything on, right? You're dressed to the nines, you smell good, you look good, teeth bright, personality's radiant. On your way to that club, or you feel the most highest self-esteem in the world, you get a call that your mom dies. Right there, your ego is crushed. The ego is crushed. There's no way you still feel like the baddest motherfucker to walk that planet. If you get something that significant to disrupt exactly what you're feeling. Now, I wish that for nobody, but that just shows you how false the ego is. The ego, or at least narcissism, is only based on everything going right. I don't care how you feel about yourself. The point is that a natural disaster can hit, all things shut down, you don't have any chance or opportunity to express that ego. That feeling good about yourself. I'm stepping out, I got my best shit on, right? That lets you know it's fake. It's a box inside of a box inside of a box. It's only dealing with circumstances going the correct way for you to be a narcissist. That's just the egotistical path as far as narcissism, arrogance, this, that, and the third. The opposite side of that, the opposite coin, or the opposite side of the coin, self-doubt, lack of self-worth, feeling bad about yourself, low self-esteem, as they call it. That's a box inside of a box inside of a box. It's entrapped thinking simply because if there's a version of you that can be better, if you just put the effort in and you have the mind, if you have the imagination and the visualization enough to know where you want it to go, and you just acted out the steps towards that idea that you call the better version of you, you wouldn't be in the fucked up place you're in now, or that you were, or you know where I'm getting to, right? Neither of those exist because they're based on circumstance. They're not real things. If you're operating out of your ego, you are operating from a fake perspective, whether it's low self-esteem or high self-esteem. Any self-esteem is not correct as far as being goes, because you have an attachment to things that you believe or don't believe within yourself. That's fake. That's false. That's not the real you. The spiritual side of you, get into this ego thing, and I just got the screen pulled up just to make sure I have my keynotes and whatnot so I can hit everything, right? The spiritual side of you, the self without believing in the self, this human body, that has all the knowledge and information that you possibly could need. Those are where the feeling states arrive from. Those are where the feeling states arrive from, right? Spirit. This is a natural thing. If you go to the state of nothingness, the flow state as they call it, all of what you are and what you've trained yourself to be comes out naturally. That's the flow state. We all got it from Dragon Ball Z, Ultra Instinct. That's what's most notorious about the flow state. Dragon Ball Z, right? All of Goku's techniques, his learnings, his trainings come out naturally. He doesn't have to think, they just are. That's due to repetition. That's due to the training. If you get into the flow state, if you get into the state of being, these feeling states, where you just let all of what you are take over the show and you don't think, again, that's the flow state. That's the natural state of nothingness. The sadness is another state. That means you are no longer in the control of what you're feeling and how you navigate through that, right? That's because the subconscious mind was impressed and you pushed out, or excuse me, the subconscious mind is impressed. The spiritual side of you went to sleep. The conscious side went to sleep. And now you're just going off the subconscious. You're just going off of pure operations, pure instinct, nature. If you put effort, if you put training into what your new system will be, as long as you keep it up as a consistent thing. You don't have to do this every moment of the day, but let's say 3 times a day. As long as you're overriding the save data that is you currently, if you're depressed right now, that will become your new state. It doesn't mean you're never going to feel sadness again, but at least you won't operate from that perspective of, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I don't believe in myself. This is all a belief. It is not law. There's no such thing as beating depression. There's no such thing as beating sadness. You just change your belief system. I didn't beat depression. I didn't beat suicide. I changed my belief system. I changed what I believe of myself. I changed what I believe was going on around me. Are these things that bad? Or do I make them that bad? Are these things out of my reach? Or do I believe they're out of my reach? I've manifested 2 or 3 dream cars. I'm talking about Dodge Charger 2010. That was the one I've always wanted. My ex-girlfriend could attest to this. If you ever talk to her, right? Love that girl. But I manifested my dream car simply because I visualized. I felt the way about my visualization. And eventually, I got to it. And they cut me a deal too. So that just shows you. I seen myself in that car and I seen myself driving that car every single day. I would walk on my way to work, see that car posted for sale at a mechanic shop, and just go rub the hood of it. I had to be in it. I had to create that feeling state of what I seen myself in, and that brought it to me. That's how it works. I test drove a white Mustang GT. End up getting the Audi, which ain't the exact same thing, but the exact same color. They drive the exact same. Same dashboard. I pretty much manifested my dream car. It's just a different brand. That's how you get out of this shit. That's how you create a new reality. It's not that you have to abide by this stupid shit. Anxiety is not a real thing. Anxiety is what? Being nervous, being scared, being worried about a future that is yet to get here. You're tripping on something that is non-existent. Time ain't a real thing. You can't go back and get 1 millisecond. Not the exact same one. You can rewind this video. You can go 5 seconds back and repeat the same thing that I just said. You can't get that exact moment back. You can't go and get the future. You have to create the future. It's all thoughts. When society transforms around you, if there's a new apartment complex being built or whatever, you name it. Point is, that has to be a thought. Then that thought has to be worked on. Then it has to be executed in order for it to exist in reality. So you can transform it with the exact same system. Depression is not a fact. It is a belief. It is hardened belief. That check engine light came on, you identified it, you're like, damn, something's wrong. And you never did nothing about it. That created depression. If you worked or fixed the thing that was wrong, damn near immediately, sometimes you get to things when you get to things, but if you fix the problem that you diagnosed and seen what was wrong, you would never get to depression. You fixed the problem. It ain't nothing but a problem you need to solve that you didn't solve, that you let get bad. The check engine light came on, you let that car sit there with that same problem, the car broke down on you. Now you're gonna have to do a whole lot more work to fix a problem that created other problems simply because you didn't handle that problem in the first place. That's how you got to this conundrum. Stop abiding by that shit. That's how I liberated myself. That's how I've saved others from suicide. And I'm going to save a whole bunch more with this video. That shit ain't a real thing. Get it out your head. I don't care what nobody said. People putting these mental health ads. No, you don't need to do all that. If you believe in mental health, then you believe it just fluctuates how it fluctuates and you cope with it. No, you can absolve that because it's a belief system. It ain't that these things are so bad. There are kids with leukemia who are not going to make it past today. A lot of them, you can go watch Make-A-Wish videos all day long. They do not have the concept of depression. And they're going through some of the worst hell you can go through in a human existence. So if they're going through this horrible thing, and you're going through just nothing but beliefs, self-doubt, and things that you haven't dealt with, how do they have a better attitude with you, a better attitude than you, with a shittier situation, and you have a worse attitude with a fixable situation? Programming. They don't know it, you know it, so you abide by it because you know it. They don't have a stain on the canvas that is their mind that says you have to abide by this, or that you have to act like this, or that it's even a possibility to act like this. You've convinced yourself. Other people have impressed you because you didn't know better. My parents believe in drinking their problems away. My parents believe in being stressed out to the point of you about to rip your hair out. That's what I come from. My mom and dad still do that to this day. Damn near 50. Love my mom and pops, but it is what it is. That's because they were taught to deal with their problems like that. Not that you have to sit there and deal with it. Some of the things that they're going through now, that they're feeling the effects of, are things they've been going through for damn near 20, 30 years. If you've worked at the same place or have had the same profession for a year plus, there should be no reason to be stressed out. I'm gonna be real with you. You can disagree all you like. You already know what could happen, what's going to happen, what's a possibility. You have foresight on things that could come into the fray of you working and getting your job done. You know all of this to be a fact. Life is going to throw you curveballs. Why are you emotionally reacting to that shit, getting stressed out about the same thing that you deal with day in and day out? You're not learning your lesson. It's here. It's going to happen. Emotionally reacting to that creates a feeling state. The end. You think you're stressed out, you become stressed out. I work in a warehouse. I do the exact same thing every single day. I stack crates, I stack boxes, I wrap them up, ship them to the dock, they load them to a trailer, it goes to the store. Every single day I do that. There should be no reason. I've worked 14, 15-hour shifts. There's nothing in my mind that will ever change about how this thing is going to happen or end up. It's the same thing day in and day out. Therefore, it should be no skin off my teeth of what I know I'm finna get into. I know what I'm going to do. I don't care what you go through in life. You know you got to go through it. Stop reacting emotionally. That creates the feeling states. And then all of a sudden you feel like you can't accomplish anything. You accomplishing it when you feel fucked up and when you don't feel fucked up, or when you feel good about it, is all the same shit. The only thing that matters is the action. Period. The belief triggers the emotions. All right. So now that we got that all out the way, we're going to get into some exercises of what you can do to wipe the slate clean and never have to get back to this bullshit ever again. You do not have to go through it. It is not mandatory. It is a choice. Perspective changes everything. Understanding changes everything. And with that understanding, you create detachment. That means whatever it is to be, is to be. You have no emotions towards it. You simply go through it, and you know these passing moments are going to lead to you not having to deal with this shit again. So let's get into some exercises. All right. Before creation comes destruction. So, destroy means to simply get rid of. Get it out of there, right? You want new furniture? You see a new couch that looks a lot better than the couch you got? What do? Get rid of the old couch. Old furniture gotta go. That shit got to get the fuck up out of there, right? It has to go. So, in order to wipe the slate clean, gotta get it up out of there. 7 days of nothingness. This is a program. I'm gonna bring it up on my computer right here. 7-day detox. No social media, no masturbation, junk food, or music with lyrics, right? These are things I borrowed from Elmer O. Locker Jr. I believe his name is Dave, his real name, but Elmer O. Locker Jr. is a YouTube channel that teaches visualization techniques. And look, go to the school. I think it's a $60 course or whatever. Take that shit. I didn't need it, but I used it to be able to get to where I want to manifestation wise, right? Materials and all that and getting money. And point is, you transform your whole mindset, whole way of being, everything else works. 7-day detox. That means it's time to stop all of that. I don't care if you need 2 more days to be able to prepare. Take those 2 days and 7-day detox. No social media, no pornography, masturbation, junk food, or music with lyrics. You don't want anything as much as possible because you're living in a world. It's damn near, you're going to go through it, right? You're going to go through other influences. But you don't want anything to stimulate, what's that word? Dopamine. In order to transform, you have to be able to clean the slate so you can know what you're going to rewrite on it. That simple. 7 days. This is a 3-6-9 method, right? You write this 3 times in the morning, 6 days, 6 times in the middle of the day, 9 times before you go to sleep. I know nothing. I reset my beliefs. You're going to write that. I know nothing. I reset my beliefs. 3 times in the morning when you first wake up. Then you're going to write that same thing 6 times in the midday. Then 9 times before you go to sleep. 7-day journaling. Each and every day from day 1 all the way to day 7. You're going to write how that feels. And just be honest with yourself. If you can identify how you feel, you know how to work on it. You just do the extreme opposite of the thing that you don't want. If you feel fucked up, you do something that's extremely positive. That simple. 7-day meditation. 10-15 minutes. Meditation ain't nothing but focusing the mind. You do not know, you do not know where you need to go right now. You simply just need to be. Exist. Exist with as little thought as possible. There's no wrong way to do this. Focus on your breath work. Put your mind on nothing. Day 1, you might be a little bit chaotic. When you get to day 7, it's going to strengthen itself. You just keep that going. And if you want to go past day 7, beautiful. Now you've incorporated something absolutely transformative into your life. You focus on nothingness right now so you can reset the slate. And then you build on top of that nothing. Getting all the old furniture out to move the new furniture in. All right. After the 7 days of nothingness reset, now we're going to build positively. This is the transformative process. De facto. You need nothing else. If you would like therapy, well, therapy is for people who are unaware of a problem. Nothing wrong with that. We all got things that we catch a little bit later on, right? But that's for a whole nother purpose. This is just helping you reinforce a better mindset. And if you choose to get something more out of that, no problem. But if you have enough self-awareness to be able to do this yourself, here comes the positive results. Now you've cleaned this, you clean the entire house. You've got all the filth and furniture and the things that you don't want in there. Now you can start replacing them with things that start serving you a lot better than the old stuff that you had sitting there festering, that you had no more use out of. Positive affirmations, positive builder. Ready? All right. Empowering affirmations. These are most effective when you are sleeping. Now, do this in tandem with saying them throughout the day. So just say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, whatever, right? You can write down three things. You don't need to do much, because again, the bigger the file size, which the file size can be translated to the more that you want, the longer the process, the longer it takes to get them. So if you start off with a small download file, put that in the rest mode as you're sleeping, downloads and gets into your system a lot sooner. Just like a PS5, just like an Xbox, just like Steam. You get the gist, right? iPhone, whatever. Empowering affirmations. Do this at night. Let something empowering play and just stick with that one thing. Don't put nothing else on. Stick with that one affirmation set. So if you have an 8-hour YouTube video of positive affirmations, stick with that. Don't jump to a whole bunch. You want to be able to drill a whole bunch of the same thing in your head. So that way you can transform into what you're looking for. Or how I do mine, I go to Audacity. I already have my own affirmations that I wrote down on a notebook or on my phone. And then I'll just say it into a recording device. And then whatever the amount of stuff is that I want, I'll just copy and paste, or copy, then paste it one after the other. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, 8, 16, 16 to 32. And I just copy that whole thing and make my own 8-hour affirmations. I've done it plenty of times. Audacity is the software. All right. So positive affirmations while you're sleeping. And you can say this in tandem with 3 things that you want to enforce or reinforce your brain with. So you can overwrite the old stuff. Or in this case, you've already gotten rid of the old stuff. Now here comes the new thing. You build on that. All right. Second thing for this 7-day positive affirmation, 7-day positive, building positivity. Working out. You don't have to do much. Ain't nobody asking you to go out there and be David Goggins. Shout out to my man though. That's my guy. Helped me. He helped transform me. You do not have to do a whole bunch. But simply doing something that is the opposite of what you've been doing that got you to being depressed or got you to the state of feeling fucked up, doing the extreme opposite of anything that makes you feel bad, make you feel extremely good because you're doing something positive. And you reap the results or reap the benefits of what you didn't have before. Start seeing changes in your body, changes in your energy levels, right? That in tandem with no social media, no junk food, you become a whole new you. And you just stick with it to make sure the new you is the natural you. Now you can build on good and make it great. Great to exponentially magnificent, magnificent to fucking wonderfully remarkable. Go crazy with it. Working out. A little cardio, push-ups, just something. Just do a routine to be able to benefit you. Mind, body, and spirit. Train your mind, train your body, train your spirit. Find anything that you like. You already know how to work out. Everybody knows how to do it. Just don't do it. Train your mind. So if you want to go dictionary or, audiobooks, cool. And training your spirit. Meditation. Getting and tap in with your astral projections and all that. Anything that helps with getting outside of all the human process is where you need to go spiritually. Those are the trainings. Oop. There we go. Listening to positive music and watching happier content. If you have a scratch for action movies and things that beget violence and all this shit, cut it out. Start watching something more positive until you're able to disassociate the negative happenings of that movie or show or whatever, and you're able to just see them as that's a part of the movie. But a lot of these things have been programming us, and we're so desensitized to things that we should be sensitive to. A lot of these things ain't normal, but we act as such. That's in tandem with this, right? Listen to positive music. No Juice World, no killing, no none of that shit. Juice WRLD's very talented, but the content of his music is depression, sadness, overdose, drugs, this, drugs, that, killing. You know, anybody that has that content, anything chaotic and fleshly, if you will, things that deal with the ego and anything that is not of love, get away from it. Listen to some Sade, listen to just anything that you believe to be positive. Find some positive shit. But go listen to some new music if you need to. Jazz, classical, anything that is not dealing with words of despair, words of uncertainty, words of violence. We get it out of there. Clean your inner algorithm so that your outer algorithm, the things that you see, your inner reality dictates your outer reality. If you think poor, you see poor. If you think messed up, you see messed up. If you're looking for something on the news that you watch on the news, outward in the real world, you're gonna find it. It's the law of attraction. What you focus on, you get more of. That simple. I didn't think about all these till I got one. I didn't. Now I see them everywhere. And they've always been there, but it's easier to notice and pick up on when you finally have something for yourself that you can always go back to. It's the law of attraction. What you focus on, you get more of. Visualization of the better you. That ties in with the law of attraction. If you see yourself doing better, see yourself being better, I don't care if you go to work 15 minutes earlier than you ever have, and you keep that up. That is better than the previous you. You're overwriting the save data that's already there. This is becoming the new you. If you think rich, you grow rich. All you have to do is think how rich people think and do what rich people do to get rich. And then you get it. I have millionaire friends. They all say the same thing. You just need to know how to make money. It's a skill. It's mathematical. 1 times 10 equals 10. 10 times 10 equals 100. 100 times 100, you get the gist of it. Visualize where you want to go, or visualize the better you in your mind. It don't take nothing but 5 to 10 minutes. And then act out every single thing that better you would do. I wanted to become a harder worker. I wanted to develop a better work ethic. So naturally that's going to be uncomfortable for the current me, or the old me rather. I'm that person now. If I was working 40 hours a week, I'm going to build it up to 45. I'm going to work an extra hour for 5 days straight. That built up to 50, that built up to 60, I can go 70. But being able to do more with the time that I got, hours are the same as they've always been. Period. It's 24 hours in a day. 7 days a week. It's always been that. So if I'm maximizing what I'm doing, I'm getting more out of it. That's what I want it to be. That's who I visualize myself as. I wasn't that person at first. For sure, when I first started working jobs, period, I was not that person. I thought it, I acted it out. Think it, act it out. Do it long enough, that becomes the natural you. This level becomes this level. That becomes your new normal. You build on top of that. That becomes your new normal. So on and so forth. And it works on the opposite. It works on the opposite. You can get worse, you can get better. You choose it. Last one. Cleanliness and time management. Cleanliness is next to godliness. If your house is dirty, clean that shit up. Because that affects the mental. Whatever else is going on around you is just a manifestation of how you feel on the inside. Nothing more, nothing less. If I know I'm not feeling the best, I literally clean my house. That's the start. And then I just take inventory of what I don't need mentally. And I get rid of it. I just stop acknowledging it. I stop abiding by it. And it's over with. Time management. How are you using these passing moments that you do not have an infinite amount of? I'm spending it doing this right now. Something productive, something that can help somebody else, something that can help yourself. What are you doing with this time that we have? These limited passing moments to be this person to add to your life. You take all that into account, you're free. You're free now. I already giving you the tool set. You're just overriding what you've already done. That's how you win depression. By realizing it wasn't nothing to win. It's nothing to beat. That's just a human program. That's human instinct, rather. If you think you always have something to overcome, you're only as big as the boss that you didn't beat yet. Just like an RPG. If you don't beat this boss, you don't get to the next stage. But if there's never a boss to begin with, and you realize that everything that you went through is simply something that you have to undergo for a transformational process, if you choose to learn the lessons and get stronger from the experience that you have obtained, which makes it wisdom, which makes it strength, if you see it as that, there ain't no boss. It's simply the process that it takes to get to the other side. That's it. It's that simple. You're free. All right. Now that you have the tools, get to work. Watch this shit transform you. 7 days is just to simply put it into the system. You go past that, you build a whole different character that can't nobody mess with. The end. So, love y'all. Proud of y'all. Finally got this video out of my system. I've been meaning to do it for quite some time. I don't know whose life this could have saved. I apologize for taking as much time as I did. Won't happen no more. And I say that to myself because I will not allow that. Now we continue consistency. See how you destroy old habits to get new habits in there? I don't know what this video will do. It might do 2 views, might do 2 million. Point is, it's done now. So, that's how you change it. Change your belief, change your reality. Depression ain't a real thing. It's something that you chose to abide by. You no longer have to do or live by that system. You're free. You got the tools, get to work. See ya.